Bill Barr was asked about systemic racism, and you'll be shocked what his stance on it is.
I did say that I do think that there appears to be a phenomenon in the country where African Americans feel that they're treated when they're stopped by police frequently as suspects before they're treated as citizens. I don't think that that necessarily reflects some deep-seated racism in police departments or in most police officers. I think the same kind of behavior is done by African American police officers. I think there are stereotypes. I think people operate very frequently according to stereotypes, and I think it takes extra precaution on the part of law enforcement to make sure we don't reduce people to stereotypes. We treat them as individuals. You know, I think the narrative that that the police are on some epidemic of shooting unarmed black men is simply a false narrative, and also the narrative that that's based on race. No, to me, the word systemic means that it's built into the institution. And I don't think that's true. I think our institutions have been reformed in the past 60 years. And if anything has been built in, it's a bias to non-discrimination and safeguards against that.
I mean, Adrian, what do you think?
You know, the first rule of white supremacy is to deny there's any sort of white supremacy or racism. And Bill Barr is holding steadfast to that rule. Again, as I quoted the study earlier from 2020, Harvard, Northeastern, there have been so many studies out there, the data, the numbers, they don't lie, get out of here. The fact that you don't want to believe that racism exists, the fact that you don't want to think that narrative is, just more nonsense from the Trump administration and his little hooligans denying facts, science, research, only to fit the narrative that keeps them in power. And it's absolutely incredibly problematic. But I'm not gonna let it ruin my day. Not today, Satan. You can sit in the corner, Bill Barr. I'm done.
To your knowledge, is there a level of the criminal justice system from distribution of policing to stops, arrests, charges, sentences, appeals, trying to get out of prison? Anything. Is there a level where there is not a bias based on race? Do we know of one? No. As someone who has a bachelor's and master's in criminal justice and a law degree and studied to be in law enforcement and also taught criminal law and has worked in various aspects of the law enforcement community and the legal community, I can tell you no. It wasn't our justice system, as much as we love that little statue of her covering her eyes and being blind. Nah. The woman can see and she sees in color. Like, no one is able to avoid bias and no one's able to escape it. And the thing is, if you don't confront it, it's gonna continue to be a problem. And our law enforcement communities, not only are they not confronting it, they're denying it, and it's a big problem. Yeah, and it's just, it just makes me sick to watch him there in a position of so much power, knowing that he can and has gotten away with breaking the law, knowing exactly how biased the system is from top to bottom, but knowing that he has the power. And so he doesn't have to care. He'll do an occasional interview, but it doesn't matter. Nothing's gonna come of it. Like, it reminds me of, this is the stupidest comparison ever. Are you watching Lovecraft Country by any chance?
Oh, I haven't started it yet.
Okay, then I'm not gonna spoil anything because it's very good, but there are racist cops, I'll say that. That's not gonna be a shock to anyone. And they're just so self-satisfied with the fact that they can do whatever they want. And that's supposed to be set decades and decades and decades ago. And there's Bill Barr, and it's fundamentally the same approach. It's, we can do whatever we want, and the worst that'll ever happen to us is that we have to go on cable news and deny that we're doing it. And that's it, that's it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.